The House will come to order. The invocation today will be given by Ms. Saline Nitton from the Bharatiya Temple in Troy, guests of Representative McDonald. Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise?
Hello, everyone. These prayers are to the Supreme Divine, praying for protection, well-being, and nourishment. These are prayers from the Vedas, the ancient sacred texts for Hinduism. The first one goes, Om, may both of us be protected in this coming together. May both of us be nourished. May we work together vigorously with energy. May our intelligence glow through this work. Let there be no disagreement between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinamedhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May He protect the citizens with well-being. May He guide the lawmakers in the path of law in their duties. May He protect the cows and the scholars in society. May He protect all the worlds with well-being. Om, peace, peace, peace. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim shaha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam lokah samastah sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti. May He protect all in well-being. May He protect all free from worry. May He oversee all in safety. May no one be burdened by sorrow. Om, peace, peace, peace. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
The clerk will open the board for the purpose of taking attendance. The board is now open. Members, you may check in at your desk. For the purpose of an introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative McDonald.
Thank you. Today I have two guests sitting with me. There are Saili. She is the Saili Nitin. She is the chair of outreach for the Bharatiya Temple in Troy, Michigan, Midwest Regional Manager at Sewa International, and a board member of the Hindu Community Relations Council, or the HCRC. She's passionate about community service and involved with various other organizations. I also have with me Lakshmi Vadlamudi. She is executive board member and the secretary of the Hindu Community Relations Council and co-chair of the Telugu Association of North America, the U.S. Political Affairs Committee.
Colleagues, please join me in welcoming Representative McDonald's guests to the Michigan House of Representatives. For the purpose of an introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative Scott.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to introduce Arthur Harrington, who is a guest and at my desk today, and he is a law student at Wayne State University Law School, and he is here visiting us today in the House.
Colleagues, please join me in welcoming Representative Scott's guest to the Michigan House of Representatives. For the purpose of an introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative Borton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Attention, Republican members. We have Republican caucus in the Republican caucus room. Republican members, we have Republican caucus in the Republican caucus room.
For the purpose of an introduction, the speaker recognizes Representative Hope.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Democrats, Democratic Caucus in the Democratic Caucus room. We are caucusing. Thank you.
The House will go at ease at the call of the chair.
For the purposes of an introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Bierlein.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Up in the gallery, we have some college students from Delta College today, and they're here for Constitution Day, and they're just educating folks about how great of a Constitution we have.
Will the special guest of Representative Bierlein please rise? Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives.
The House will come to order. Speaker recognizes Minority Floor Leader Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to excuse Representatives Arbit, Kofia, Devendorf, Edwards, Foreman, McFall, Neely, Pies, Puri, and Witset, please.
Without objection, so ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to excuse Representative Jamie Green.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce today's attendance.
Madam Speaker, a quorum of the House is present. There are no members absent with prior excuse.
Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise and join me now in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. The House will come to order. Members, the House is about to proceed with a resolution on sorrow. Will all the members stand? Will all the members and staff please take your seats? Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Pastumas.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of motions and resolutions to suspend Rule 71 in order to take up House Resolution 174.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read. Oh, that's not, okay. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Pastumas.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 174.
Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Pastumas.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House suspend Rule 71 in order to take up House Resolution 174.
The Majority Floor Leader moves to suspend Rule 71. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Rule 71 is suspended. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Pastumas.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 174.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution number 174, offered by the Speaker on behalf of the entire membership of the House of Representatives. A resolution of sorrow offered to honor the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk, political activist and founder of the nonprofit organization Turning Point USA. Whereas it is with great sorrow that the members of this legislative body learned of the passing of Charlie Kirk, who was horrifically assassinated during a political debate at Utah Valley University on September 10, 2025. He will be remembered always as a man of strong faith and a tireless advocate for civic engagement and the freedom of expression. And whereas Charlie Kirk was born in Arlington Heights, Illinois in 1993, and from an early age he demonstrated a passion for exchanging ideas. In 2012, at the age of 18 years old, he founded Turning Point USA. This nonprofit organization, through Charlie Kirk's leadership, has been committed to engaging young people in discussions about the issues that are facing our country. This organization has grown, and now there are Turning Point USA chapters at the University of Michigan and Michigan State University. What began as a grassroots effort quickly expanded into a national movement which has shaped the civic involvement of an entire generation. And whereas throughout his career, Kirk became a prominent author, radio host, and public speaker, appearing on campuses and stages across the country to encourage civil discourse, participation, and the defense of American values. Just this past April, he visited Michigan State University's campus to debate with students about a wide variety of topics from immigration to the economy. He inspired many with his belief that young people could be leaders in the strengthening of democracy and in shaping the future of our nation. And whereas Kirk's influence extended beyond politics into the lives of countless students and activists who credit him with awakening their interest in politics and civic duty. His ability to connect with younger generations and provide platforms for their voices left a legacy that will endure long beyond his death. And whereas in previous interviews, Charlie Kirk expressed that he wanted to be remembered for courage for his faith. He had hoped for his legacy to be rooted on his steadfast devotion to God rather than his successful advocacy efforts. His answers showed the foundation of his character and the principles that guided his efforts, his relationships, and his service to others. His unwavering faith left behind an example that will continue to inspire those who share his values. And whereas, along with recognizing Charlie Kirk's contributions to this nation, we also offer our condolences to his loved ones. We guarantee to his wife, Erica Kirk, their daughter and son, his family, friends, and many who mourn his loss, that Charlie Kirk's accomplishments and his impact on those throughout this state and this country shall always be remembered. We affirm that Charlie's passion, energy, and leadership will always be remembered by those whose lives he touched. And whereas we recognize the impact of Charlie Kirk's life work in encouraging political participation, especially among young Americans, and in championing principles enshrined in our Constitution, his legacy remains a testament to the power of conviction, civic involvement, and fearless advocacy. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives that we offer this expression of our highest respect and sorrow to honor the memory of Charlie Kirk, political activist, author, and national leader.
Speaker recognizes Representative Wolford.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As we think of and celebrate the life of Charlie Kirk, let it be a reminder that men like him stood in times just like in the Revolution. Men who said finally that enough was enough. They were ordinary farmers, tradesmen, and fathers, but they had the courage to believe in something greater than themselves. They believed in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They believed in passing down freedom to their children and their families, much like Charlie Kirk and the life that he lived. From the Revolutionary War to Pearl Harbor to the heartbreak of September 11th, we found strength and unity when we were tested. And I believe that we're in a moment again in America where this too will bring us together. Charlie Kirk was a man who used his words and was effective. And in these times of loss, we're reminded what unites us as people is stronger than what divides us. Charlie Kirk truly, as the Bible says, was a peacemaker, not a peacekeeper, and that is needed yet again for the time that we live today. Today I look around and I see that the same spirit is needed again, not because we face muskets or cannons, but because of the values that made this nation strong are needed once again. Charlie Kirk's revolution was not one of fighting. It was not fought with weapons, but it was fought with truth, courage, and conviction. Charlie Kirk was an ordinary man who stood up when it mattered. Today, I encourage all of us to stand and do the same, have the same courage and the same faith and the same commitment to freedom once again. I thank God, the God who flung the stars into the heavens, who picked up dirt and blew life into each person in this room, and the God who separated the seas to give Charlie, his family, his children, and his family for generations to come a Holy Ghost peace that surpasses all understanding. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Speaker recognizes Representative Fox.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was just last Friday that the brave and courageous widow of Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk, said these words: "You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. If you thought my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea." And she said it again. You have no idea what you have just unleashed across this entire country and this world. So in the sentiment of Joseph in Genesis, as he spoke to his brothers who meant to harm him, what they meant for evil, God meant it for good. Joseph said to his brothers, in essence, you have no idea what's gone on. It's my prayer in our nation that thousands of Charlies, thousands of patriots like Charlie will rise like a phoenix out of the ashes. It's my prayer that millions of people will turn to Jesus because of the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk. It's an historical truth that the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. We have no idea. Let it be so, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Speaker recognizes Representative Fairbairn.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've taken time to reflect on the brutal public execution of Charlie Kirk, a man who inspired me to get involved, to serve, and to speak boldly but with openness. What we witnessed on September 10th, 2025 will reverberate for generations. It's difficult to put into words the horror, the grief, and the gravity of what happened. I grew up listening to Charlie. In fact, his call to action was what really first drove me towards public service. Like him, I hold strong convictions and believe in listening to others, and above all, I believe in the power of civil dialogue. What made Charlie's murder even more horrifying is how instantly we were able to witness it. In 1975, when Geraldo Rivera aired the Zapruder film of President Kennedy's assassination, the world had waited nearly 12 years to view that. They were distant, grainy, but in 2025, we saw everything immediately, in full clarity and with lasting impact. We saw a man killed not for breaking the law, but for expressing ideas. And we must say clearly, this is not just about Charlie. He would be the first to say so. He'd tell us to step back, define the problem, agree on the terms, and focus on what's at stake. Political violence is not progress. It is the collapse of everything we hold dear. Self-government cannot survive if people are afraid to speak. A republic cannot last if we kill each other over differences of opinion. Political violence must stop. We cannot be so offended by alternative thoughts that the only solution becomes cold-blooded murder. We are going to carry the torch, Charlie. We are going to stand up even taller for the rights endowed by our Creator. We're going to work tirelessly to ensure that we restore grace and civility in our civil discourse, and we will not be silenced by this. We will not hide out of fear. Thank you.
Speaker recognizes Representative Regas.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues and fellow Michiganders, today we pause to honor the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk, a passionate advocate, a devoted servant of his faith, and a voice for many in our nation. As we reflect on his passing, we find comfort in knowing that Charlie lived a life dedicated to his beliefs, his family, and the principles he held dear. Charlie was a tireless champion for open dialogue and civic engagement. His commitment to fostering debate and encouraging our youth to participate in the democratic process left an indelible mark on our nation. Through his work, he inspired countless individuals to find their voice, to engage with ideas, and to stand up for what they believe in. As a loving husband and father, Charlie's dedication to his family was evident in all he did. His passion for his work was matched only by his devotion to those closest to him. His loss is deeply felt, not only by his family, but by all those who were touched by his words and his mission. Charlie faced challenges with courage, entering public spaces to discuss the values he believed in, even in the face of opposition. His resolve serves as a reminder to all of us the importance of standing firm in our convictions while fostering respectful discourse. He believed in the power of ideas to shape a better future, and he worked tirelessly to promote the principles of liberty, freedom, and the opportunity that are foundational to our nation. In this moment of reflection, I ask my colleagues to consider what kind of future we want for Michigan and our country. How can we honor Charlie's legacy? We can do so by engaging in thoughtful, principled dialogue, by listening to one another even when we disagree, and by working together to build a stronger, more united community. As we mourn his loss, let us also celebrate his life, a life dedicated to faith, family, and the pursuit of a better future. May we honor his memory by recommitting ourselves to the principles of civil discourse and the shared values that unite us as Michiganders and as Americans. Rest in peace, Charlie, and may your legacy inspire us all. Thank you.
Speaker recognizes Representative Linting.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to honor the life of Charlie Kirk. His time with us was far too short, but his impact was powerful and lasting. Charlie stood for something that matters deeply to me and to so many: the right to speak freely, to stand firm in faith, and to live with conviction no matter the cost. He reminded us that free speech is not just for the voices we agree with, but for those who challenge us. Protecting that freedom is the foundation of our country. At the center of Charlie's work was his faith in God. That faith gave him courage and clarity, and it shaped the way that he lived and led. I believe, as he did, that our freedoms are God-given, and it is our responsibility to defend them, not only for ourselves, but for future generations. Here in Michigan, we saw people from all walks of life gather to honor him. They came together in unity, standing for the principles Charlie believed in: free expression, faith, and the hope that comes when we choose courage over silence. As many of you know, I worked for Charlie Kirk. I now sit in this chamber as the youngest state representative here in the state of Michigan. And that is the impact of Charlie Kirk. Young people across the country have stood up for truth, even when it was not popular, and have engaged in respectful conversation and debate. And that has not ended. We've seen over 15,000 people, young people, people of all ages and walks of life, register for his conference that is coming up in December. We've had thousands of requests of students that want to start chapters in honor of him and to continue sharing his message. When you walk into the headquarters of Turning Point in Arizona, you couldn't leave without strong values being instilled in you. And one of my favorites is that of humility. And that's something that Charlie made sure everyone who worked for him had, was humility. He would share the message that it doesn't matter how important you think you are, you're never too important to help someone in need, to take out the trash, to share a smile. And as we all know, there's no shortage of egos or arrogance in politics. And so that is a lesson that I carried with me here to Lansing, and I will have for the rest of my life. So today I recommit myself, and I call on all of us to defend free speech, to live out our faith boldly, and to ensure that the next generation never loses the freedom to speak truth. May God bless Charlie Kirk, may he comfort his family, and may he bless the great state of Michigan and that in this nation that we are privileged to serve. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 174. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Postumus.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of second reading of bills and take up calendar item number 45, House Bill 4515.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 45, House Bill 4515, introduced by Representative Wolford, a bill to amend the Social Welfare Act. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Committee on Government Operations, Representative Gold, Chair, recommends the adoption of substitute H2.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Miller offers one amendment identified as Amendment 1A.
The question is on the adoption of the amendment. The clerk will open the board. The amendment is not adopted. Are there further amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Andrews offers one amendment identified as Amendment 1B.
The question is on the adoption of the amendment. The clerk will open the board. The amendment is not adopted. Are there further amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Conlon offers a floor substitute H3 identified as Amendment number 2.
The question is on the adoption of the amendment. The clerk will open the board. The amendment is not adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Postumus.
Continuing on the order of second reading of bills, move that the House take up calendar item number 53, House Bill 4282.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 53, House Bill 4282, introduced by Representative Colazar, a bill to amend the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Committee on Regulatory Reform, Representative Aragona, Chair, recommends the adoption of substitute H2.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill, or is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Postumus.
Continuing on the order of second reading of bills, I move that the House take up calendar item number 54, House Bill 4595.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 54, House Bill 4595, introduced by Representative Linting, a bill to amend the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Committee on Regulatory Reform, Representative Aragona, Chair, recommends the adoption of substitute H1.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Postumus.
Continuing on the order of second reading of bills, I move that the House take up calendar item number 55, House Bill 4700.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 55, House Bill 4700, introduced by Representative Schuette, a bill to amend the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. People of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Committee on Regulatory Reform, Representative Aragona, Chair, recommends the adoption of substitute H1.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. For the purpose of an introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Bonack.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I welcome in our East Gallery the heart of resilience and unity. Our house, proudly built on the unbreakable spirit of the Marquette United Steelworkers. These hardworking heroes, with their unwavering dedication and grit, forge not just steel, but the very backbone of our community. Their strength and solidarity inspiring every corner of this home, a testament to their legacy of craftsmanship and camaraderie. Here's to celebrating the Marquette United Steelworkers, true pillars of our community.
Will the special guest of Representative Bonack please rise and welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of third reading of bills, take up calendar item number 55, House Bill 4700, and place it on its immediate passage.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 55, House Bill 4700, introduced by Representative Schuette, a bill to amend the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. People of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are not. Speaker recognizes Representative Schuette.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to speak in favor of my bill 4700, which is a straightforward update to our state liquor control code. Current outdated language in our law prohibits small boutique hotels in the cities of Grand Rapids and Detroit from having a liquor license. House Bill 4700 lowers the threshold for the number of rooms required to have a liquor license. That then allows for additional flexibility for smaller properties to obtain a liquor license. Our cities of Grand Rapids and Detroit, they're experiencing exciting energy in tourism and economic development. And this legislation gets government out of the way of our innovative job creators and entrepreneurs that are driving growth in some of our state's largest cities. Madam Speaker, I ask you and my colleagues to join me in supporting this legislation, and thank you for your consideration.
The question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. Speaker recognizes Minority Floor Leader Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to excuse Representatives Morgan and Myers-Phillips, please.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4700, there are 94 aye votes and 3 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, I move that the House take up calendar item number 53, House Bill 4282, and place it on its immediate passage.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 53, House Bill 4282, introduced by Representative Colazar, a bill to amend the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are not. The question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Robinson votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4282, there are 89 aye votes and 8 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, move that the House take up calendar item number 54, House Bill 4595.
Without
and place
objection.
it on its immediate passage.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 54, House Bill 4595, introduced by Representative Linting, a bill to amend the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Farhat votes nay. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4595, there are 90 aye votes and 7 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, I move that the House take up calendar item number 45, House Bill 4515, and place it on its immediate passage.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 45, House Bill 4515, introduced by Representative Wolford, a bill to amend the Social Welfare Act. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are not. Speaker recognizes Representative Cerniglu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The issue that this bill seeks to address is a real one. Across the country, scammers are using skimming machines to steal card information from as many people as possible. Unfortunately, this type of fraud has not spared individuals who are relying on food assistance programs. In order to prevent waste, fraud, and abuse, the legislature must be relentless in our efforts to make government more efficient. With that being said, the bill before us today falls entirely short of what policies intended to address fraud should look like. This bill will cost our state millions of dollars annually, with savings to the state being determined as indeterminate but likely negligible. Despite costing our state millions of dollars, the legislation is likely to have almost zero impact on bridge card fraud. Why? Because retailers are required under federal law to treat all customers equally, regardless of how they purchase their goods. Meaning that if a retailer is required to check the photo of a customer using an EBT card, he or she must also check the photo of every customer paying with a credit or debit card. Because of the increased burden on store clerks, it is not just unlikely, but seemingly impossible in the age of self-checkout to imagine that retailers will be checking the ID of all customers paying with cards. Furthermore, federal law states that retailers must accept payment from EBT cardholders who have a valid PIN, regardless of which state the card is from or whether the individual is pictured on the card. In states where photo EBT cards are in use, the person presenting the photo EBT card need not be pictured on the card, nor does the individual's name need to match the one on the card if the state includes name on the card. Let me just reiterate that SNAP and other food assistance programs exist to protect the most vulnerable members of our society, including the elderly, those that are disabled, and families with children. The bill before us today will cost our state millions of dollars, all whilst doing absolutely nothing to prevent fraud. Instead, it will put increased burdens on our elderly, our disabled, and families struggling to make ends meet just to get the assistance so desperately needed to feed their children. While making an extra trip to get a photo taken for a bridge card may seem like a minor inconvenience for some, to a senior citizen lacking reliable transportation, a disabled person who faces countless challenges simply to survive each day, or a single parent working double shifts to make ends meet, this could effectively prevent any of these vulnerable individuals that we are supposed to be protecting from receiving the critical assistance they need just to get by in these trying times. At a time when a government shutdown looms over this chamber, we should be passing a budget, passing bill.
Representative, please keep your questions before the proposal up of the body. Speaker recognizes Representative Sternaglu.
Thank you. I urge my colleagues to vote no on House Bill 4515. Thank you.
Speaker recognizes Representative Wolford.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, colleagues. House Bill 4515 is about one simple thing, and that's protecting Michigan families and protecting Michigan taxpayers. The focus today is bridge card fraud. Right now, bridge cards are being misused. They're being trafficked, sold on the street, and used by people who aren't authorized. Every time that this happens, it undermines our public trust, weakens the integrity of our programs, and takes food away from the families who truly need it. House Bill 4515 provides a simple and a practical fix. It requires that every adult authorized to use the bridge card have their photo and signature printed directly on the card. The reform does three important things. It ties the card directly to the rightful user so it can't just be passed around like cash. It also gives investigators a clear tool to quickly spot fraud and misuse. And three, it makes it harder for scammers and criminals to exploit a program that is designed to serve Michigan's most vulnerable families. This is not about punishing families in need. It's quite the opposite. It's about protecting them when fraud happens. It's those struggling families who end up waiting longer, facing tighter restrictions, or losing out altogether. By putting safeguards in place on the front end, we'll make sure that benefits go to the people who truly need them. At the same time, this bill protects taxpayers. Michigan spends billions of dollars each year on this program. If fraud and errors continue unchecked, we're not only wasting money, but we're also undermining the credibility of our entire system. And so why is this important? What this bill does is protect families who are following the rules. It protects taxpayers from waste, and it restores trust in a program that has been too easy to target for abuse. This bill will also help reduce the SNAP error rate by kicking more fraudsters off the backlog system. Since COVID, SNAP error rate has doubled. The national average was already too high, and it's only gotten worse, and this is what has become acceptable. We have been complacent, and we have a responsibility to be good stewards of the people's money, a responsibility that comes not only from our Constitution, but also from God's Word. Could you imagine how much more support we could give to families in need if we weeded out the fraud and got people who should be working back to work and restore trust to those working hard and still who are in need of assistance? And this reform also reduces casework on the frontline workers. It frees them up to focus on families who will need help instead of chasing down the misuse and fraud. In closing, Madam Speaker, fellow lawmakers, today we focused on addressing fraud, which has already cost Michigan millions of dollars every year. House Bill 4515 is one step closer to addressing both of these issues. It's a common sense safeguard that shuts the door to fraud, protects taxpayer money, and makes sure that families who truly need it get the help they need. Colleagues, this is about accountability. It's about fairness. It's about being good stewards of the resources entrusted to each of us today. I respectfully ask for your support on House Bill 4515. And while I'm not a mathematician, if we're losing hundreds of millions of dollars and due to an error rate next year have to pay back at a minimum $300 million and will cost a few million to implement a program to stop waste, fraud, and abuse, I think we're going in the right direction. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. Members, the board is still open. You may vote at your desks. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
And speaking of the question, final passage of House Bill 4515, there are 60 aye votes and 38 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Move for immediate effect.
The majority floor leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of motions and resolutions and take up House Resolution 172.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 172, introduced by Representative Bierlein, a resolution to declare September 17th, 2025 as Patient Safety Day in the state of Michigan.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 172. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Continuing on the order of motions and resolutions, I move that the House take up House Resolution 173.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 173, introduced by Representative Puri, a resolution to condemn political violence in all forms and affirm the commitment of the Michigan House of Representatives to civility, safety, and the peaceful exercise of democracy.
The resolution is referred to the Committee on Government Operations. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Just to let the members know, there will be no further voting today. When the House adjourns, it stands adjourned until Thursday, September 18th, 2025 at 12 p.m. noon.
The House will stand at ease at the call of the chair.
House come to order and proceed to announcements by the clerk of printing and enrollment.
The clerk announced the following bills were reproduced and made available electronically on Tuesday, September 16th. House Bills 4946 through 4968. Clerk announced the following Senate bill received on Wednesday, September 17th. Senate Bill 533.
Reports of standing committees.
The Committee on Health Policy, Representative Vanderwall, Chair, reported House Bill 4107 without amendment with recommendation the bill pass.
Bill be referred to the order of second reading of bills.
The Community Health Policy, Representative Vander Wal Chair, reported House Bill 4108 with recommendation that substitute H2 be adopted and the bill then pass.
Bill be referred to the order of second reading of bills.
The Community Health Policy, Representative Vander Wal Chair, reported House Bill 4402 with recommendation that the bill be referred to the Committee on Rules.
Bill be referred to the Committee on Rules.
The Committee on Health Policy, Representative Vander Wal Chair, reported House Bill 4847 without amendment with recommendation the bill pass.
Bill be referred to the order of second reading of bills. Messages from the Senate.
To the Speaker of the House of Representatives, dear sir, I herewith transmit Senate Bill 533, a bill to amend the Michigan election law. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Government Operations. Notices.
A second revised agenda has been issued for the meeting of the House Committee on Regulatory Reform, scheduled for Thursday, September 18th at 9 a.m., room 519 of the House Office Building.
Introduction of bills.
Representative Cabot offers House Bill 4969, a bill to regulate the distribution, sale, and manufacture of keratin products. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Regulatory Reform.
Representative Paquette offers House Bill 4970, a bill to amend the revised school code. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Education and Workforce.
Representative Steckloff offers House Bill 4971, a bill to amend the Use Tax Act. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Finance.
Representative Kuntz offers House Bill 4972, a bill to amend the General Sales Tax Act. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Finance.
Representative McKinney offers House Bill 4973, a bill to amend and act provide for the regulation and control of public and certain private utilities. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Energy.
Representative Morgan offers House Bill 4974, a bill to amend and act provide for the regulation and control of public and certain private utilities. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Energy.
Representative DeSana offers House Bill 4975, a bill to amend and act provide for the regulation and control of public and certain private utilities. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Energy.
Representative McDonald offers House Bill 4976, a bill to amend and act provide for the regulation and control of public and certain private utilities. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Energy.
Representative Miller offers House Bill 4977, a bill to amend and act provide for the regulation and control of public and certain private utilities. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Energy.
Representative McFall offers House Bill 4978, a bill to amend and act provide for the regulation and control of public and certain private utilities. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Energy.
Representative Morgan offers House Bill 4979, a bill to amend the Use Tax Act. People of the state of Michigan enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by its title, referred to the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. There being no further business to come before the House, Representative Linting moves that the House do now adjourn. Hearing no objection, the House will stand adjourned until Thursday, September 18th, 2025 at 12 o'clock noon.